So Sheree's trying to take the girls to Portugal. The episode starts with all the girls getting Thanksgiving ready. Candy's doing a giveaway. We kind of go to each person's house. But Ralph offered to throw this send away for the ladies because they're about to go to Portugal. And everybody arrives, everybody's cordial, the men are cooking. Marlo surprisingly comes in with her man or the guy she's dating. And Candy makes a snide comment talking about she didn't think he was Marlo's type. I guess she's implying that he might not be as rich as Marlo's ex was or exes were. But I'm like, she didn't need to do all that. Then they talk about the movie Candy's doing, and Kenya's like, where's my offer? They start freaking out when she found out Drew was offered the role. I think Drew is more of an actress than Kenya, obviously. Kenya is great in other things, but Drew is definitely known for acting versus Kenya. So, but everything is going well. Roy calls, and Marlo really wants Kenya to acknowledge her. It's kind of sad to watch, honestly. But Kenya is like just talking on the phone. She's like, is that Roy? He called me crazy. I went on a date with him. I'm like, girl, why are you admitting this unsolicited information? Like, you sound pressed, Panini. Like, I feel so bad for her, but then I also don't feel bad for her because she definitely wants Kenya's approval and she doesn't know how to get it. She's just so awkward with Kenya. I'm just like, let it go. Kenya is never going to be your friend. It's over. Okay? So Kenya acts like she didn't hear Marlo saying what she said after she goes to talk to her guy. She gets back to the table and messy as Sanya is like, I can't believe Kenya, man. Marlo dated the same guy. And Kenya is like, well, at least he knew what not to do after dating you and he came to the right side. I was like, the shade. Like, Kenya, that was not necessary. But she's fake as fuck because basically, she was accusing Martel of clout chasing because he was in her DM, then eventually in Sheree's DM. So basically, Roy is also clout chasing because he was in Marlo's DM, then possibly your DM. So what are we talking about here? But she doesn't call him out because Kenya can only see the problem with you and not with her. Okay? No mirrors for Kenya. So the dinner is going on. They were talking about Sheree's like, oh, I'm gonna need you, Courtney, to like help me kind of navigate this group because basically most people are not getting along and Courtney is kind of neutral. And I guess Kenya like shades her and she's like shading Kenya too, but she's doing hee 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 and touching Kenya. And Kenya's like, don't touch me. You've touched me 3 times and I'm really uncomfortable with it that we're not there yet. I was like, at this point, Candy's like, I'm out of here. She calls her husband and she's like, let's go. Even Todd didn't know he was about to be summoned to like leave. But during the dinner also, Sheree brings up the fact that Drew is being sued by another chef. So she's being shady. She's like, so did you pay this one or not? But Drew's like, oh, Sheree, why are you shading me? She's like, the girl basically kind of auditioned for her, but she didn't like girls' food. There was hair in it, blah, 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 blah. We find out the girl is suing for $1,000. Like, it's going to cost you more in lawyer fees than $1,000, girl. So we know it's probably just for clout chasing. Andre's like, they're trying to make me charade, but I pay my bills. Then Sheree's like, so you going to pay the chef? And everyone's like laughing because it's like fun shade, but shade. The ladies arrive to Portugal. Sheree gets them a sprinter to take them, I think, 273 kilometers to where their destination is, which it looks good. I mean, they've been to nicer looking places, but Portugal looks good. And on the bus, Sheree is trying to be positive energy, and Kenya is like, girl, bye. When she was proposing positive energy and like healing, Kenya looked out the window. And Sheree cut that shade. She's like, Kenya, why are you looking away? And Kenya is like trying to make up shit. But Kenya was not interested in any peace treaty because she ain't gonna like Marlo and you can't make her like Marlo. Then we find out Candy was apparently like in the toilet the whole time doing number 2. I was like, God damn, I know she needs a shower right now. Because like if you're a girl and you have like period poop or any kind of GI symptoms, like you just want to wash. Like I don't care how many wet wipes you use, you just want to wash. Cause so she's in the bus, she's kind of sitting to herself. She probably feels uncomfortable because I can't imagine like being on the plane. You know, it's already tight, it feels weird. Then you're stuck in the plane bathroom. Like nobody wants to do that. Like But it's shady that the producers are actually the ones talking about it. But eventually Candy does talk about it. She said she was throwing up and pooping as well. So I guess she probably had some kind of food poisoning. You know, Candy likes to eat and taste everything, so that's what I'm thinking happened. But yeah, so the girls basically arrived at the hotel. They all want to go eat, but like nothing's really happening. They all call their partners or their nannies to kind of check on their kids and their husbands. And we find out Drew's husband is in Las Vegas trying to be a Magic Mike. And I'm like, all right, not much is going on in this episode. They're kind of hanging around. Drew brings up the fact that Sheree was shading her earlier. I'm like, girl, you already addressed it. Why are we bringing it up? And we see in the preview from last episode that basically they're going to have a whole thing about this whole, you said I don't pay, I thought we're good, blase, blase, blah, she by Sheree. Moneta, I don't know what her position is in this show. Like, she's a nice lady, but she just does not fit the dynamic. She's given, just follow her. I don't know. Like, there's just nothing special about her. And I know someone was saying that she's like real Atlanta, all this stuff. We just don't see it. I don't know why. But yeah, they could definitely recast Moneta. Then Kenya is talking about her divorce, and then even Candy's like, girl, we are tired. Like, it's 3 years later. How is this still? You guys were barely together for a year, and now you've been divorcing for this long. Candy's over it, as rest of us are as well. But she's like, she's excited about Roy. And Candy's like, what do you think about him going on a date? She's trying to save face. But Sanya and the other team are talking, and Sanya's like, what's the difference between this and Martell? Like, basically, they both slid in famous women's DMs, so they could be clout chasing and all this. But Kenya ain't gonna call it out until she breaks up with Roy. Then she would tell us, oh, he wasn't shit. You know how Kenya does. But yeah, while she's still in it, she ain't gonna say nothing crazy about him. He's giving dud though. I'm like, when is the action starting? Because say what you will about Courtney, but she ain't no punk. Like, Sheree starts out the dinner talking about, I hope this trip is like healing for, not healing, but everybody kind of like express yourselves, what you're feeling, this and that. So Courtney addresses Kenya because apparently Kenya was saying she didn't like her or she felt some kind of way about her. And she calls Kenya out. She says, I'm getting mean girl. And Kenya can give mean girl. That's true. If she doesn't like you, she can absolutely give mean girl, which is like, it's painful if you're the recipient, but if you're her friend, you're good. So yeah, Courtney's saying that then instead of Kenya to say, oh my God, I did not mean to give you mean girl. She does classic Kenya. She's like, Drew, I really appreciate you for telling her that I was just talking about my boundaries. Yes, you might be talking about your boundaries, but it could still come off as mean. Like, two things can be true at the same time. Which it was nasty because they were all geeking, and next thing is like, don't touch me. Like, Courtney was like dumbfounded. So her saying, oh, Drew, thank you for saying this and da. Like, we already know Kenya's plays and this is what it is. Drew then gets into Sheree talking about, girl, you're not being sensitive. We were talking about this lawsuit of $1,000, which makes no sense. But Drew's dragging her, saying Sheree was insensitive because she felt some kind of way when Sheree called her out in her house. But I guess she was saving it for this trip so that she'll have a moment. But I'm just like, girl, bye. And Sheree's like, we're not friends. Like, girl, you were lying on me. You said I did A, B, C, D, E. So why would I be loyal to you? And why would I care about your sensitivities? Which, at the end of the day, honesty is the best policy. So Drew and Sheree are just going back and forth. Some of the girls on the table were like, yeah, they did take some things back. But Sheree's like, that's on you guys. Some people got stuff, some people didn't get stuff. Like, stop talking about my business in the negative, like, basically. Andrew is saying, like, I thought we moved on. Didn't you move on? And Sheree is like, girl, it doesn't feel so good, huh? Because obviously she's trying to embarrass Sheree's business. I'm not going to take that lightly. And basically Sheree shut it down. And then they try to get back because Kenya is like, okay, can we just put a pin in this? They try to get back to the dinner. But at this point, Drew has had enough and Drew starts crying and walks out, which is sad because at the end of the day, Sheree is supposed to be the host, but that shit don't mean shit. If we have beef, we got beef. This episode was kind of dry. I'm hoping next week is much better. All right, guys, like, subscribe, tell me what you think. Bye.